Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the CORE Racing Network tonight. Live coverage of the CORE Xfinity Series at questionably the home of motor racing. There's so much different racing that goes on here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, whether it's on the big one and a half mile trial, well, not trial, quad oval, the road course through the infield. You got the Legends track right there on the front stretch. Not too far from here, you got the dirt track of Charlotte. This is a mecca of racing right here. Carl Handwerk joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we are getting close to the playoffs, only tonight and then 2 more weeks before we start playoff racing.
Yeah, it's been a great season so far. You know, drivers doing the best they can, and obviously it's going to be a fantastic race here tonight at Charlotte, one of the more popular tracks on the service, and pretty well known. So might be some high confidence out there by some drivers that even don't have much time on the service, because this is one of the one of those tracks that they throw you out there on, and to get kind of started with the bigger raceways. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these drivers do and how they finish tonight, and how that playoff thing, that picture is going to wind up here going in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean it's really coming down to the end, and we'll take a look at the playoff picture here in a second. Just want to get a couple of these drivers that are hopping in here for their first time tonight, get them all set up real quick, and yeah, we'll take a look at the playoff picture here, and plain and simple, it's absolutely heating up. I mean, looking at the gold, Elwood is just about locked himself into the playoff round, but right there at the bubble line, tied. Shane Therian, Bryce Reiner tied for 5th place right now. Right now, the tiebreaker would go to Shane Therian with the finishes that he has, but you see Mike Moultrie right there, only 6 points back, and I mean, even Van Westen, if he has a couple good finishes, can get himself back up there in the silver division. David Tilford is mathematically locked in to the next round. Actually, Tyler Bramble is as well. But then you're looking down there at the bubble line. Connor's only 16 points ahead of Kevin Foster, so certainly right up for grabs yet for those top 5 positions. And over in the bronze, the top 5 look pretty well locked in, but it just takes a bad week or a really good week from some of those guys right down there below with Williams, Casey Phelps, Tony Bramble. I mean, one or two good weeks here could catapult them up to the top 5 in the standings. But we are ready for some racing here tonight, and it should be a good one. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of our starting lineup?
Yeah, starting lineup here tonight. I'll go ahead and go through this. Our starting grid will be, on the pole will be Jack Stoneman. On the outside will be Nico Garcia. Then Shane Therian and Bryce Reiner will take up row number 2. Row number 3 will be Kelly Pointer and Craig Jancic. Row number 4, Daniel Wiles and newcomer Kenny Hins. Row number 5, Joe Sullivan and John Van Westen. And row number 6 will be Diego Remy and Dave Tilford. Next wave here. Come on. Forward my stuff here. Row number 7, Caleb Collins and Dan Phelps. Row number 8 will be Joseph Thomas and Tyler Bramble. Row number 9, Tony Bramble and Matt Crockett. Row number 10, John Nobinger and Louis Orduna. Row number 11, AJ Roderick and Jeremy Gainey. And that it will be all for our 22 car field here tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be our 22 car field. They are getting ready, all set up here to get this thing underway, and it's one cool thing here at Charlotte that they line them up right here on the front stretch and try and get a good look. You see a good look right there of the 44 of John Nobinger, but team's starting to pull out and get in line, and we're going to be set for a good one here tonight. It's going to be 85 laps, and it's going to be battle tested for sure. And like you said, Jimmy, this is a track that even your road course guys probably have some kind of experience when they first got on to iRacing and maybe dipping their feet in the ovals just a little bit, whether it's in street stocks, whether it's in any of the NASCAR vehicles. You probably had some kind of experience here at Charlotte, and for the guys that have been on the service for a while, it can lead to maybe some overconfidence, like you said, maybe some overdriving as well.
Yeah, the overdriving really does take effect here. It was only last week we were covering UCL, and they were here at Charlotte, and there's the tire wear is huge here, so the fall off is major, and so these drivers kind of go out there and really push these cars really hard. They're going to burn up the tires, and you can find themselves, moving back, after, the first 5 laps. So we'll see how some of these drivers kind of handle themselves here. Obviously, they don't run full fuel here, so they don't have to be out there for a full tank of fuel, so they'll be able to come in and get some tires. But a little bit of strategy, and it's going to be a little bit of, hopefully they get them green flag runs in, and they have practiced that pit stop, because it can be pretty tricky going off turn number 4 getting down there.
Well, coming off turn number 4 is what they're doing, and they're getting that green flag from Barney. We are racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good start from both lines as they head down into turn number 1 for the first time. Everyone dancing around, searching around. You got to worry about those cold tires on that first time through turn 1 and 2. I mean, you can get up to full speed by the time you get to the backstretch, but you got to worry about just getting that outside line and kind of just getting a little bit squirrely and pushing up towards that outside. But it looks like everybody gonna make it through, especially in turn number 4. It's really, if there's ever a tricky spot right here at Charlotte, it's got to be coming off of turn number 4 right there and just getting a little bit pushy and getting out to that outside wall.
Yeah, you get anxious. You want to go on that car as quick as possible, but they really can send that car out to that outside wall, and it's the wall you really want to make friends with here.
No, not at all. This thing is, it's a 1.5 mile quad oval, but this thing is high speed, and it's a lot of action. We'll show you what the drivers are looking at right here as we got to pass for the lead. Nico Garcia now taking over, and you see these drivers well into the 180 mile per hour range, and that's from your leader. You know, back there in the draft, they're getting closer to the 190 mark, but racing still all throughout the field, and every position matters. I mean, when it comes to the point standings here, it's scored from front to back. It's not scored within your own division, so it's not like, the player there, not the player, the driver that finishes first in the gold gets the same amount of points as the driver that finishes, technically first place in the silver. It's scored straight up from top to bottom. So if a silver driver were to finish up there in the top 3, or even bronze driver finish up in the top 3, they can make a huge gain in the point standings. And again, I mean, it's coming down to the end here. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We got tonight here at Charlotte. We got next week, which is right here for a second. Next week is at Las Vegas, which is another one that it's certainly, you can have some overdriving at Las Vegas. It's a very, very fast high bank tri-oval. But then you get down to Martinsville, and as much as we joke around and say, Martinsville can be sketchy, it can be rough, it absolutely can, but it's going to come down to that last race, I think, for at least last couple spots in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Still, I was in a few races, some of the drivers, try to get locked in for that playoff spot, so, they're doing pretty good. They're running too wide up there at the moment, so it's good to see, but we'll see how much longer they can run too wide as the tires start wearing off, and you see 3 wide action going down the backstretch.
Yeah, Shane Therian on the inside. Looks like they settled down a little bit now as Craig Jansick there in the outside in the 97, trying to make his way towards the front. This is a track where, I mean, if you have a rough starting spot, you can make your way through the field. You can make some passes here. You can make multiple lines work. I mean, typically this bottom line right here is where everybody's going to settle into, but that middle line and that high line that can work for you. If you're finding it, hard to kind of get to that inside, you can use that outside line. You see Jansick there, use the outside line through 1 and 2, got a great run off the corner, over down to the inside, got that preferred line through 3 and 4, now trying to complete the pass, but still side by side right there with Stoneman for 3rd place.
Yes, Stoneman is fighting there on the outside, and obviously in turn 1, I like to be down on that inside before that turn. Just makes it just a little bit easier, because that's another corner if you're not too careful. You can meet the wall on the exit of 2, but it's not as big of a threat as this one here coming through 3 and 4 down that quad oval. So these guys have been doing a pretty fantastic job so far, Carl. And we see a little bounce off the wall, but they've been for a minute.
One thing that's kind of surprising, actually, looks like we have Diego Remy coming into pit lane, so I'm not sure if he had some issues or not, but I'm kind of surprised at the big gap that we have right now. We have front 9 right now. All you see on screen, but you see that huge gap, 2.5 seconds almost from 9th place Van Weston all the way back to Dan Phelps right there in 10th place. And I mean, it's certainly surprising to me that big of a gap. I didn't see anything in particular, but I mean, we're still green. That's the biggest thing here. Looks like Joe Thomas actually had maybe some issues here at the beginning. Try and see what caused him to jump in the pits. I don't see anything here.
Might have just been a hard hit come off the wall there.
Oh, it was right at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, I seen him jump the pits, but nothing. No caution being flown right now, and right now Nico Garcia trying to stretch it out just a little bit with Bryce Rayner right behind him. So those two drivers trying to hook up and maybe just try to pull away from the rest of the pack. Craig Jansick now. You can see the field starting to kind of settle down just a little bit. A lot more single file now. The front 9 there are single file. And now the second 10 there, they're starting to poop up a little bit. Maybe sensing some, getting a little anxious there. Maybe towards the end of their fuel run here soon. And thinking about coming in the pits and maybe trying to get a couple positions here. But big play is going to be that pit entry, and these drivers keep going like this. They're going to have green flag stops, and it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, the word around the paddock is that the fuel window is roughly around 26 to 29 laps, depending on how hard you're running the car out there. So you're going to be looking at 2 pit stops at the minimum, and depending if you're on that short end of the stick, you may be looking at a splash and go at the end. So you're really going to make sure that you're getting the full amount of run out of that fuel tank to make sure it's only a 2 pit stop race here for you, if you stay green, obviously, the entire way. But right now, it's looking pretty good out here. We're already on lap number 13. These laps are clicking by very quickly, as they do here at Charlotte. I mean, the lap times here, best laps you're looking at like mid to low 30-second range, and these drivers still out there in the 31s. The tires do wear out here a little bit, but I mean, for the most part, for this kind of track, I think it's banked enough that the tires hold out well enough that you can make it through a full fuel run without really any kind of issues, any kind of major drop-off. But to try and stretch those out for 2 runs, that's when it's a little bit sketchier and maybe a little bit too much time lost compared to saving that time by not taking tires.
Yeah, it might be something that maybe somebody's thinking about, maybe that two-tire stop, just depending on how well the inside tires are going. But the drivers aren't going to know that unless they've got the practice time in to see if they can do a 2-tire stop strategy. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if somebody does it, or maybe somebody in this maybe the second group maybe holding out just a little bit to maybe stretch that fuel just a little bit longer as well. So, but everything's going good so far right now. Nico Garcia out front with Bryce Rayner in second, Craig Jansick in third. There's Jack Stoneman, Kelly Pointer for top 5, and then Shane Therian, Daniel Wiles, Kenny Hins, John Weston, and Caleb Collins for your top 10.
One thing we're not going to see here tonight is Alan Elwood, your overall points leader and obviously leader in the gold division. Not here tonight. He's got plenty of points in hand that he should be able to even lock himself in by not being here tonight and use one of his drop races. But I mean, we talk about some dominating performances by Elwood this season. Yeah, he's got 5 wins out of the 12 starts that he has here, but really it's been a bit all over the place lately. I mean, the only person in the past 6 races that has 2 wins is Craig Jansick. I mean, we had Craig Jansick taking 2 races, Alan Elwood, Aaron Smith, Nick Nickerson, Daniel Wiles, all your winners with Wiles getting the win last week at, I mean, I know I already spoiled it by saying that Daniel Wiles got the win, but if you missed last week's finish, it's at the very least, you need to go back and watch the last couple laps at Talladega. It's Talladega at its absolute finest, and I've been saying it for a week now, and I'll probably keep saying it for another week. You're never going to see a finish like that, period. No matter what race you see, 6 wide at the line, everybody keeping it safe. I mean, obviously, banging off each other, but nobody spinning sideways or upside down or spinning around, anything like that. It was a 6 wide battle at the line. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, Jimmy.
No, that's one of the finishes that you want to see. You see the drivers driving hard, and obviously, to be that close and not finish like in the top 3, it can be heartbreaking as well. But it does put on for a great show for the fans out there. gets that blood flowing, heart racing up there for these drivers. And you see the drivers starting to search around for alternate lanes, it looks like, because I see some drivers going a little bit higher on the track. I know a lot of the longer races that I've done here in the IMSA races usually end up start hugging a little bit on the higher side here, going around here. But yeah, right now the drivers are going around here at about 31.6. So we're about a little over a second off the pace from the fastest lap so far. So the tires definitely showing wear and tear, but still holding a good amount here with only 20 laps. But we should be kind of seeing our pit stops here. If the wear on the street is around 26, we're going to see how far they will push it here tonight to make that.
Good battle in the back half of the top 10 here. You got Joe Sullivan in 10th, but right behind him, Caleb Collins, Tyler Bramble. These three have kind of been on top of each other for quite some time, quite a few laps here. And looks like Sullivan's finally kind of won the little bit of battle here. He is in that 10th place, but 11th place still a battle, still side by side. Tyler Bramble on the inside, and that channel lock car. And I don't think there was contact there or not. If there was a lot of neck code involved, but good save there by Bramble. There's the fight another day. Guys are down on the inside in 3 and 4, but looks like Collins will finally have a good enough run. Maybe not. It's a little bit of a wash there, but he will have the pass, have 11th place, and we'll keep on running and keep on keeping it green. And I gotta say, Jimmy, this is a track where everybody should have enough experience. Everybody should be well enough, versed in Charlotte and should know how to drive this track and know how to keep it green. But more often than not, this place is, I don't want to say a caution fest, but there's a lot of cautions because, like we said in the beginning, a lot of just overconfidence and guys going for moves that they think they can make because they feel just so comfortable out there. These guys doing a great job out here in this first run.
Yeah, I haven't seen any brave moves, or we'll call it that. Somebody will send it in there and try to make the pass, or just take it a little bit too deep and whatnot. But everybody's been giving themselves the room out there right now. Obviously, they know they got quite a few laps out here. Got a bunch of pit stops that need to be made. Cautions, are in the books for the night. I mean, I was watching them practice, and a lot of the drivers were out there trying to push a little bit harder, see how far they can take these cars. But so far, so good. 24 laps, and we're all not 24 right now, so doing good, and looking forward to seeing how much farther they can run here tonight. But they are getting stretched out, and the caution comes out as I just open them up.
Looks like it might involve Tony Bramble and Jeremy Gainey. I was just about to talk about this battle right here that we see as the drivers coming up on the wreck here. I was going to talk about the battle between Jansic and Stoneman. It's been side by side, back and forth since the beginning of this race. I mean, it's getting to the point where it was like a junior high dance that they're just dancing back and forth with each other, just holding hands the entire time, and nobody wants to really take the lead. But this is going to bring us on our first caution. We'll take a look back and see what happened. Hard impact there. So both of them. Take a rewind there and see anything else like that maybe started there. Was just tandem hitting the wall here.
Yeah, it looks like Gainey checked up for the 218 of Joseph Thomas. Ended up getting up in the wall just a little bit. Lost control. Looked like maybe Bramble went down to the bottom and floated up just a little bit, getting into to Gainey. So going to bring out that caution here. But
Bramble was back behind here. He actually got into the wall by himself behind.
Oh, did he get in the wall too?
Yeah.
I just seen Gainey pass or pop off the wall there.
Yeah, it looks like both kind of tandemly getting in the walls together here, and that is going to bring us under our first caution and right about at the pit window. So this gives these drivers a chance to come in and top off on fuel. But what it is going to do, as you see right there, that's ultimately what brought out the caution. And I'm not sure if Tony Bramble had too much control over the right front of his car there to begin with, because he hit the wall pretty hard. But again, that's going to bring out our first caution here. We'll bring it back live, and we take a look. Again, this is it's right about at that first pit window, but Now it's going to get sketchy. Again, that pit window, as we talked about, was around 23 to 26, sorry, 26 to 29 laps. From here, it's right at the edge of maybe you can make it on one more stop. Maybe you can save just a little bit and get there, but oh boy, it's going to be a little sketchy. But a lot of different pit strategies here. It looks like Shane Therian and AJ Roderick, and it looks like maybe Diego Remy as well, electing to not take any kind of tires, or maybe just take 2 tires with the rest of the field, going for the 4-tire option. So that's going to bring Shane Therian to the front of this field. Now it looks like Collins and Remy going to come back into the pits here. So Remy might have stayed out. He might have got the lucky dog to get around there, but it's going to be Therian, Garcia, Stoneman, Reiner, and Jansen, your top 5. Then Wiles, Pointer, Hines, Van Weston, and Roderick going to make out your top 10.
Just looking at the pit lane times, just Jack Stoneman with 27 seconds. So maybe just fuel. I don't know. I don't know. There'd be kind of a brave move there on Jack Stoneman's part. I know how much tires are important here, so hopefully he got at least 2. And then you see Shane Therian there with a 38 seconds for his pit lane time, and then everybody else is right around that 44, 45 seconds. So, which would lead me to believe they got the 4 tires and fuel. So we'll see how things pan out here for some of the drivers that have decided to elect to take an optional different type of strategy. We'll see how that pans out for them here early. But you know how cautions go, Carl. Sometimes they breed more cautions.
Well, I'm kind of confused now that you brought up the pit lane time. I'm not sure if the timing scoring really got Jack Stoneman's correct here, because he had about the same pit time as Nico Garcia, but somehow his total pit lane time was about 20 seconds quicker. So I'm not sure what exactly was going on right there. And his pit stop was 6 seconds longer than Shane Therian. So the fact that he had a shorter pit lane time doesn't really make any sense to me at all. So not sure what's going on there, but hopefully he doesn't get a penalty for it. I mean, by looking at the times, he was definitely speeding in pit lane, but not the case here. He's out there, and we'll get this thing back under green.
I need that move to make my pit stop shorter.
Well, I don't know why the heck he went from battling with Jancic to, well, he's still back there just about battling with Jancic. So this is
SDK doing SDK things.
Yeah, exactly. But we still have 19 drivers on the lead lap. Looks like Jeremy Gainey going to be 1 lap down after that incident. Tony Bramble still out of the race. Not sure if he's going to be back in here, get a towed in to get back to pit lane. He is 4 laps down currently. Joe Thomas with the early issues there. Looks like he's finally got that cleared up, but he is already 8 laps down, and they get one of those laps back there by staying out. But he's got a long way back, and he definitely needs cautions, to breed cautions here to keep a stranglehold on top of that bronze division points lead. But we're getting ready to get this thing back underway. It's going to be Shane Therian on the inside, his teammate Nico Garcia on the outside, Jack Stoneman, Bryce Reiner, Craig Jancic, last week's winner Daniel Wiles. The top 6 right now. The pace car lights are out. We're going to get these things fired off once again. It is in control by Shane Therian. Get you down to Barney as they come off of turn number 4 and head to the Geico restart zone. And Therian back on the lap pedal. We are racing again here at Charlotte.
Looks like a pretty solid start back throughout the field. So head down 2 wide on the turn number 1. Well, sideways up front.
And we got a major incident here. Looks like it involves Pointer and Reiner. We'll see where it exactly started here. Oh, Reiner already sideways. Those cold tires biting him in turn number 2. Sideways pretty much in front of the field. Comes down, clips Shane Therian. Looks like Therian was able to keep it gathered up and going straight. But that is not where you want to be right there. Whoa. The 9 of Hines getting around on the outside, but Kelly Pointer nowhere to go. Some pretty hard contact into the side of Reiner right there. And really, I mean, ultimately, a great job by everybody around him. I mean, again, Kelly Pointer really had nothing that he could do on that one right there. And we'll take you on board here with Pointer and show you what he had to look forward to. If I can find Pointer, there we go.
Yeah,
coming off the corner, he sees nothing, and all of a sudden, a big old 90 in his front windshield there. And you see some pretty heavy damage there to the 75.
And I think Pointer kind of, when he slowed down and stayed in his lane, the 9 was slowing down and ended up checking up just a little bit, just kind of squeaking by there. But obviously Pointer did not see that gap that Hines did and ended up going in sideways there into the 90. But yeah, it's going to be a tough break for those. But some of these drivers are kind of taking advantage of maybe being towards the back, topping off of fuel here, Carl. You know, some of these other drivers staying out front. So hopefully we'll see if, you know, that extra lap or two will help out those drivers that just came in the top off.
You see some damage on that right front there for Shane Therian. Looks like he's going to stay in, maybe not use that fast repair, but just try and get it repaired as much as possible here under caution. And well, there you go. Now it pops out. So I'm not sure if he decided, you know what, let me just click this fast repair or not, or if the fluid was just that quick. And one swipe of the hammer got that thing straightened back out. But he is back out there running. But man, a tough break for him. And again, one of our bubble boys here coming in the gold division. Can't afford these kind of these issues right here. I mean, he's got a couple races after this, of course, but he's got to be able to be up there and get himself into that top 5 and give himself a little bit of breathing room before we get to Martinsville, so he can maybe race a little bit harder. But I mean, running in second, and you know, we talk so much about Therian normally starting at the back of the field and has to work his way all the way through the field. And so many times it seems like he's got one of the fastest cars in the field, but just, you know, takes too long for him to get to the front. Lately, he's been qualifying up front. Today, he qualified up there in 3rd, was running in 2nd at the time of the incident, and then just, you know, wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, nothing like having a little bit of bad luck. You know, kind of make your night a little more interesting and make you work that much harder here for a decent finish. So, you know, it's not always winning that will win you a championship. It's what you can make out of your worst nights and turn it into a decent night to kind of survive those big hits. So right now it's going to be Nico Garcia with Daniel Wiles on the outside, Craig Jancic, Jack Stoneman, Josh Weston, Kenny Hines, Joe Solo, and John Nobringer breaking into the top 10 along with Matt Crockett and Dan Phelps.
Yeah, you talk about those finishes, and that's exactly what it takes to get yourself into that top 5 in the gold. I mean, right now the only wins that we have on the season are from our gold drivers. Alan Elwood with 5, Craig Jansen with 2, Nico Garcia and Danny Wiles each with 1. But then that 5th spot, Shane Therian and Bryce Reiner, of course, both getting tangled up in that mix-up right there. Neither of them have a win, but they both have a good amount of top 5s and top 10s to be right there in the mix. And big thing is bonus points. Bonus points can carry you a long way, and right now, Shane Therian is only tied coming in with Bryce Reiner because of bonus points. He's got 8 more bonus points so far in the season than Bryce Reiner. So, of course, both of them are going to probably take the same amount of X's on that instance as they hit each other. Maybe Reiner getting a little bit more for the loss of control, but you know, those bonus points, Jimmy, they're as big as being consistent out there on the track. They can really point your way in.
Yeah, and the bonus points are there, you know, to kind of give drivers that, you know, have that opportunity to, you know, take their time, maybe make a little better decisions so they don't, you know, cause them X's, and you know, you can award them for, you know, being out there being a clean driver. You know, we know everybody out here is not a professional driver. Everybody wants to be and wants to be as fast as one, and you know, you try to get the best finishes. But sometimes, you know, just having a nice clean race, getting those solid finishes will put you in a position for a championship. And you know, those bonus points are just a bonus to doing well out there.
See what you did there. Well, we're going to get this thing fired off again, and just want to remind you that after tonight's race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're going to be heading to the far east, and that is the Suzuka International Circuit, as the UCRL Fire Breathers Throwback Cup Series heads to Suzuka for a little road racing, and that should be certainly interesting. So make sure you tune in after this one is done, as me and Jimmy will take you over to Japan for that one. But we are back on dirt racing here. Big start there for the one of Nico Garcia. But right there, side by side, last week's winner on the outside, Daniel Wiles, Craig Jancic on that inside. Right behind him, Jack Stoneman. These guys have been up towards the front for a majority of this race so far. Van Westen, the highest up we've seen him, up in the top 5 right now in 5th place. He's trying to get his way back up there in the top 5 in points, and really some bad finishes here by Reiner and Therian. He can find his way back into this thing before you know it.
Yeah, it only takes a race or two, and if you find yourself in that spot to take advantage of somebody's downfall or a misfortune for the evening, that's the best if you can capitalize on it, and that's what he's doing. So, but yeah, Van Westen doing a great job. He's up 5 spots. Biggest move of the night right now, though, and shocked because I haven't seen him on ovals too often lately. It is one of our co-hosts out there, John Wilbinger, at number 44, up 11 spots, currently sitting in P number.
Yeah, good run here for the 44, and gotta love that paint scheme. If you were if you're old enough, I guess, to appreciate it, the old arcade games, and kind of one of the best arcade games out there, Daytona USA. Certainly a throwback to that, and Daytona USA 2 is this paint scheme right here. But the Hornet paint scheme is always a fan favorite. I know Chris Hamilton, when he's out here, a lot of times he's sporting some type of paint scheme like that. But looking good on the 44 here, and doing a good job making his way up here. But I'm seeing something down here on the inside. That is Bryce Reiner. I'm not sure if he had a pit road penalty here or not, but well back now, and he is now 2 laps down, and he just got passed again here, so not sure what the issue is here with the 90, but he is definitely off pace, and man, this could be a very, very hard night for the 90. I mean, this is not when you want to be having these bad nights coming to the end of the regular season here, especially when you're tied for 5th place in points.
Yeah, not the place he wants to be, but the place, obviously, that he's, the cards he's been dealt with at the moment. So, seems to be a little off pace as he's getting passed by the 9 there of Hines. So, but I think he's going to fall in place. Maybe just try to take it easy. Hopefully, cautions come out and he's able to make those up. We know he has the speed to be up front. That's where he was at. So, if he can get up there and get back around, I'm sure that's what he'll do. But side by side right now with the 9.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, he may get some help right here and get one of his laps back. And in fact, he should, as the lucky dog. He'll get back to 1 lap down, but it looks like he did have some kind of pit road penalty that he had to come in and serve. But take a look at what brought out this caution. Looks like it involves another one of our points leaders, and that is David Tilford. We'll wind it back here and show you what happened. Looks like he came up and thought he was clear, but the 72 had a bit of a run on the outside. And certainly a little bit of net code involved in there as well. Turns the 12 into the wall. And I believe he was able to save it from there, at least enough to keep it off everybody else, but some hard impact into the inside wall there. You see the hood coming up on that 12. That's never something you want to see, but the 72 involved a little bit, but essentially a single car wreck here with the 12 taking some major impact to the inside wall there. Still running, still can get it going, so you can get back to pit lane and get that fast repair. But Jimmy, these cautions, not necessarily cautions break cautions, but coming out at some weird times right now when it comes to the fuel strategy. Because we have
to pit one more time after this.
I mean, we have our top 9 that have not come in since lap number 25. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, we have a good 6-7 guys right now in the pits. I mean, the last thing you want to do is you want to get involved in a race that that has cautions at some kind of funky times. And now these guys up here in the top 9 staying out there, if they're in pit lane when one of those funky cautions comes out, I mean, that could be not necessarily the end of their night, but their end of their chances at getting a good finish. So you'd almost rather have it one way or the other. You either want a good clean race that's pretty much all green, or you want a bit of a caution fest. Other than that, it's the unpredictable races. They're stressful. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah, they get really stressful back there. The 75 of Kelly Pointer, obviously back there with teammate Dan Phelps, who came in and pit, and it looks like they just took fuel only and came back out. I don't know what their tire situation is, but right now with the 15 lap disparity between when they pit and the leaders, I think I would have took new tires. I would have drove the car up to the field, and obviously been able to capitalize on that. And those other drivers would have been thinking about when to come in to take those tires, but it could have put them in a position for an extremely great finish here, especially using the advantage of the newer tires. But we'll see how things kind of pan out. But I think if I was one of the drivers and back there in that back top 10, the 10th of the back, I think that thought would be going through my mind about 15 laps. It's a pretty big disparity in tire wear. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of laps on the green, but I think it'd be enough to drive that car forward just a few laps, maybe get up there in that fourth, fifth range. So, but we'll see how these tires work out here and what their pit strategies are. Like I said, I don't know how many tires they have left. I don't want to put myself in an extremely bad spot, but if I had 2 sets of tires still left in the box, I think I would have went in and got myself another set.
I mean, roughly what we've been seeing here tonight is it's kind of a quick drop off, and then it levels out pretty smoothly. It seems like the first maybe 10 to 15 laps, you're losing about a second on your fastest lap, but then from there it slowly kind of goes down. It's a 10th here, 10th there, and eventually towards the end of the run you're about a second and a half off your fastest pace. But like you said, it's 15 laps disparity. You figure with those caution laps, make it more like 10 on your green. That could be a second a lap difference on these tires. So I mean that is very big. Obviously, under the caution here, the tires get to cool down and they'll pick up some speed because of that. But yeah, I mean it's a risk that you think about taking. I mean, it looks like Pointer maybe only going for fuel, possibly Phelps going for 2 tires there. It looks like his pit stop is about 5 seconds longer than Pointer. So maybe Phelps decided to take at least 2 tires to see if we can work his way to the front. But at the front, it is Nico Garcia electing the outside here to restart this thing. Craig Jancic in second. Daniel Wiles, Jack Stoneman going to start there in the second row. Third row is going to be Josh Van Westen, Kenny Hines, and then Joe Sullivan, John Nobinger, Matt Crockett, and Tyler Bramble making up that top 10. So taking a look at it, and actually it looks like I may not have saved it from last week. Jancic is not in the silver, so let me get him back updated correctly again. So right now we've got 1 bronze and 1 silver in that top 10. We got a few drivers making their debuts, their one-off races. Kenny Hines, first race out here with CORE, so welcome him. Joe Sullivan, John Obinger, our fellow boys here in the CRN crew, getting out there and getting a race. And Joe Sullivan actually joined up with the series, so he's going to run the rest of the series with them. So he will he'll end up being put into one of these divisions, but he's probably not going to be a factor in making the playoffs. But we are back to green flag racing. Another great start there from Nico Garcia, heading off into turn number 1. Got a great jump there on the field. Enough that Jack Stoneman goes up alongside Jancic for a brief spell to try and make a run again. And man, these guys just been all over each other all night. And man, big move there by Stoneman all the way down to the inside. Jancic did everything he could to try and keep him back there. It looks like it's going to be enough. He's going to get a great run through the corner to hold off Stoneman, who's blinking a little bit, but caution, reading caution maybe here on this one. And it looks like same car involved here. Caleb Collins going to be involved in this one as well.
Yeah, and I was on riding on board John's car there. I watched that action happen out front. That was quite interesting to see a car kind of dive down to the inside. But yeah, let's take a look back and see what happened with Caleb Collins down there on the inside. Oh, just a little tag there. Ooh, from who's that? The 40?
From Gainey, yeah. Gainey hooks him into the outside, and then the 73 of Lee Zardonia gets really thrown for a big old loop there in the 73, and then even Joe Thomas getting involved in that one a little bit. We'll take a look at that one more time here at full speed. And it looks like the 73 gets a little loose. The 45 comes down, but flips the rear bumper. You see how quick that thing snaps to the outside. And nowhere Collins is going. You see that car is damaged enough that he couldn't even get it back to pit lane. He had to tow to pit lane. So that's trouble. Again, another playoff-bound driver having some issues here tonight, so it's not being nice. It's not being kind to these playoff drivers. That's all I can say right now. I guess I'm starting to understand maybe why when Alan Elwood wasn't here tonight. He wanted to avoid the issues here, but this is music to this man's ears right here. Bryce Reiner back on the lead lap that quickly, and still plenty of racing to go. 40 laps left in this thing here tonight. He's got plenty of time to make his way back up towards the front. His partner in crime that is tied with him in points is only 6 spots ahead of him, but now he's on the same lap as him, so that is the bigger shot right there. Currently 18 drivers on the lead lap. Looks like Ardonia is in the pits. We'll see if he gets back out and stays on the lead lap, but it's been a little bit racy here lately in the mid part of this race, Jimmy.
Yeah, and drivers starting to feel the pressure, getting towards that halfway mark, and want to get a good finish, and maybe find themselves back a little bit farther than they want to be right now. But it's playing out for people that are patient at the moment. And obviously Bryce Reiner working his way back, getting himself back on the lead lap. So you gotta give him props for staying out of trouble during any of the cautions coming out. You see he's gonna head down the pits for the top off here, and it's a smart move here with only 30 more laps remaining. So still not enough to make it the rest of the way. So it is going to be an interesting finish. I'm still kind of curious on how they're handling the pit strategies, because I'm sitting here as a driver trying to think, what I would be doing and what kind of decisions I'd be making. So, but I'm not in the car tonight, so that's a good thing. Probably for everybody on the track. And but they're doing great out here. Nico Garcia out front with Craig Jancic, Jack Stoneman, Daniel Wiles, John Weston, Kenny Hines, Joe Sullivan, John Novinger, and Tyler Bramble, Matt Crockett for your top 10.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Again, we have a race coming up right after this one. Going to be the UCRL Fire Breathers. I'm waiting with bated breath. I mean, I don't know what is going to happen. I don't think we've ever seen any kind of stock cars head to Suzuka, at least on CRN. I haven't even broadcasted it.
I've never broadcasted at Suzuka ever. Not for any race, not for road race.
Yeah, I mean, we have. I think we've been there for the GT series, but I mean. Stock cars, it's going to be interesting. Now, granted, it's not the full circuit. Is just I believe it's the west circuit, so it's only about half of the track, but it's still going to be crazy. It's a track that, again, some drivers, your road course drivers, will probably have some experience there, but nobody's going to have experience there in oval cars. Let's be honest. It's oval cars that you're going there with. They're not designed for road course racing, and you can say that about any road course, but you go to a Watkins Glen or a Sonoma, they're tracks that you see every season, and you got some experience one way or another at those tracks. But Suzuka, yeah, you may have some experience in an F1 car or a GT car or an LMP or something like that. I don't think that anybody up until this point had any kind of experience with these throwback Cup Series cars. So we'll see what that thing puts on it. It's certainly going to be a fun one. So make sure you tune in right after the CORE Xfinity Series. But we got to finish this one up first. We're under 40 laps to go now as we're getting ready to take the green flag here on the front row. It is Nico Garcia now taking the inside this time with Greg Jancic. And I don't know, maybe he's just mixing it up just to have a little fun. Not sure if he really knows which line he likes here. I mean, he's gotten a good restart on both lines so far, so we'll see how this one goes here. But Garcia, Jancic on the front row, Stoneman, Wiles, Van Westen, your top 5 as Garcia once again back on that loud pedal, and a great restart right behind him by Jack Stoneman, and looks like this time he's going to take the fight to Jancic, and he's got to get clear going into turn 1.
Yeah, and a lot of times, leader out there them having the ability to choose a lane. It might be, who they want behind them or the challenger. But Stoneman with a great run coming on that backstretch, coming down into turn 3 and 4, looking a little bit lower and trying to get that run out here down this front stretch. But Garcia is going to hold him off as he's going to continue to lead here on lap number 50.
Great bounce back. We've seen the huge amount of damage that the 12 had, but he's back out there up into 14th already, trying to work his way back up through the field. You see Reiner not too far behind him, already up into 17th place. But he is looking at this man who's dancing back and forth, trying to make his way up through the field. Shane Therian up into 12th and trying to use that high line. Gets around Bramble to move himself into 11th, and he's just going back and forth, trying to find his way through the front as quick as possible.
And maybe on a little bit newer tires, trying to work his way through the field, knows that he has to, can't let them go. As he's seen them kind of drive away as he was part of that group earlier, and you can see the top 5 already starting to stretch their legs just a little bit. And then your next group kind of being held up there by the number 76 of Joe Sullivan. But, obviously they're 2 wide, 3 wide, and looking to have some action right now. John moving in, and Matt Crockett.
Diego Remy there.
82.
Diego Remy on the inside. They are battling very close. I mean, if I'm Shane Therian, they're already involved in an incident. They're battling a little bit too close for my comfort right there, but he falls back in line. Then now looks like Remy's going to take the fight to Joe Sullivan right in front of him. But all while this is going on, again, those leaders, those top, right now looks like the top 7 drivers and 8 out of the top 10. Last pit on lap number 25. We're getting close to 30 laps since they last come in. We're going to need to see some green flag pit stops very soon from these drivers at the front, and things can get very sketchy. I mean, you hope that these guys are talking about it and discussing with each other, hey, I'm coming in. But we see more often than not some incidents happening when drivers at the front are coming in to make their pit stops.
I mean, we've already seen an incident happen right up front with some of the leaders, so things can change here pretty quickly. But just looking at the clock, I'm going to have to bounce out of here. I need to take a flight over to Japan to get things set up for there was somebody to slow down on the inside there. On the apron there. Look at the 218 of Joseph Thomas.
Thomas throws it back, just trying to get around here and trying to pick off spots if he can later on in this race. Still 13 laps down in that 21st, but up at the front, bit of a battle starting to brew here as Jancic back into 2nd place, and he's trying to take the fight to the one of Nico Garcia. And with Alan Elwood not here, Jancic looking to try and get 3 wins in the last 7 races here and really start to climb a little bit closer to Elwood and maybe just rattle the cages a little bit and let them know, like, hey, you're not just gonna go ahead and walk away with this one. You have a stranglehold with this lead all season. Well, right now he's got to try and get around Garcia yet. Back half of the top 5 getting a little bit racy here as Josh Van Westen has the 5th position, but Kenny Hines trying to work around the outside here in that number 9 STP. A fantastic job on his debut. He's just been kind of plugging away right here inside the top 10 the entire night here. But we've got to be getting close to pit stops unless these drivers are really saving a lot of fuel under caution. You got to figure by the time we get to lap 60, it's got to be go time to get into the pits, and you got to figure these guys are looking at the amount of laps that we have left, and we have a huge impact there with Tyler Bramble. Looks like David Tilford involved again. That could be the night for David Tilford. It's a good thing he is locked into the playoffs, because this is not going to be a fun night for him. I think Matt Crockett was involved in that one as well.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching the replay right now as I'm transiting here to Suzuka, as I'm trying to see how our colleagues are doing over there in UCRL. But yeah, heavy hit there. So heavy damage for those drivers. Unlucky, very unlucky for those few drivers.
How about Bryce Reiner right there, right in the midst of the action, locked it up, somehow kept it off of that 39. But yeah, it looks like the 10, not sure if he drifted down off the corner or not, hooks the back end of the 39, and that is some major impact. Again, David Tilford getting involved. That could end up being the night for the 12. He's certainly going to have quite a bit of damage that needs to get repaired. But this could be exactly what your leaders have wanted, and sure enough, here comes the field to make what should be their final pit stop.
You're thinking with 30 laps to go or so, hopefully they're within that window. Obviously, if a caution comes out, they should be plenty good to go. But yeah, this should be their final stops for the evening.
Let's take a look and see who wins battle off of pit road. This could be the money stop here, and we've seen passes be made here tonight, but we've also seen the leader kind of dominate and really hold on to position at the front. So getting out there quick is big, and it looks like Nico Garcia going to win that battle off of pit road. Jansen going to come out in second. Stoneman, Wiles, and looks like Geaney going to come out as a top 5, but Matt Crockett electing to stay out. I know he was involved in in this latest wreck, so he may have just been staying out to get a point for leading a lap, and then going to bring it in, as it looks like right there, Joe Thomas going to stay out as well and try and get one of his laps back. Caleb Collins, a lucky dog on that one, going to be back to only 1 lap down. But not a good night, good finish here for David Tilford, Tyler Bramble, both of them in pit lane still, and yeah, it looks like the 10 of Crockett gonna stay down below the line here, and probably gonna be coming in this time by. The 10 will relinquish the lead, so it's gonna be Nico Garcia, Greg Jansick, Jack Stoneman, Daniel Wiles, Jeremy Geaney, John Nobinger, Josh Van Westen, Kenny Hines, Diego Remy, Shane Therian in your top 10. A lot of big names here inside this top 10, and a lot of drivers that are still looking for their first win on the season. I mean, and again, Nico does have a win on the season. Daniel Wiles got the win last week. Craig Jansick got 2 wins on the season, looking for a 3rd, but Jack Stoneman has been threatening quite a few times here to try and break through and grab his first win. I mean, this is only his 6th race out here on the season. He's got 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, but he's kind of been in the mix in quite a few of these races to try and break through and grab his first win. Jeremy Geaney, highest running non-gold driver out there right now, bronze driver in 5th place. So we'll see what this 45 can do on the restart. It's restarting right now from 5th place, up 17 spots. Still got quite a ways to go here in this one, as we're going to be restarting with looks like probably 24 laps remaining. As this time by, we're going to click through. It's going to be 25 laps to go. Should see the pace car lights go off this time by. Top over here with Joe Thomas, should be getting his wave around this time as well. And of course, he blinks out right when I want to see what's going on, and there we go. The pace car lights are out. So Thomas is going to get that wave around. we will double file them up one more time. I mean, there's certainly some guys that would love another caution here. Caleb Collins being one of them to try and get himself back on that lead lap. But as it stands, we've got 17 drivers on the lead lap. Really all 17 have a chance at this thing yet, depending on how this one plays out. But again, you gotta be wary of those cold tires on this restart. We see Bryce Reiner, the reason he is buried back in this field right now in 15th is because of those cold tires. Coming out of turn number 2 on a restart, got completely sideways and tapped Shane Therian, got hit pretty hard up by Kelly Pointer, and has been trying to work back ever since. Went down 2 laps. He's back on the lead lap, trying to move his way up here, still in the back half of that top 15. But Nico Garcia, Craig Jancic, Jack Stoneman, Daniel Wiles, these 4 have been up there pretty much this entire race. Josh Van Westen has been up there quite a bit. John Nomier now sneaking himself up just outside the top 5 right now in 7th place on this restart. But the pace car lights are out. 24 laps to go at the line, and it's in control by Nico Garcia. Once again, he is electing the inside. He is back on that loud pedal, and we are racing again here in Charlotte. Another great restart by Garcia, and another rough start there for Craig Jansen. It seems like he just cannot time these restarts here. Stoneman takes advantage, gets back up to the lead, but you see him dancing around there, really struggling on those cold tires like we talked about. Now Jancic gonna get to the inside, gonna get the run down the backstretch, and gonna get back to 2nd. Car up into the wall, could not make out who that was, but out front, Nico Garcia doing a great job once again. As we've got another one here, and looks like Gainey involved. I believe Joe Sullivan was involved. Need to take a look at this one more time. Gainey just slow out of the corner, and cars all over him here. Therian gets into him. He gets into Remy. It looks like Sullivan takes a little piece of it as well. Doesn't look like too much impact on some of these other cars, but Gainey certainly takes a hard impact to the inside wall as he was a little bit slow coming out of the corner and was just about to get freight trained. Almost got put 4 wide there. Had Therian not tagged him there a little bit. But it'll bring us under another caution here. And certainly everybody is good to go on fuel. But you got to wonder if anybody is still sitting with some tires in there in the pits. Granted, we only had about a 6-lap run there. But maybe not on this stop here. But if we get another caution here, if you have a set of tires, it could be a big chance to get in there and maybe grab some spots. Or if Diego Remy going to come down, try and get some repairs done. Jeremy Gainey restarted inside that top 5, but now he's limping back to pit lane to get some repairs done. Jimmy, of course, has moved his way over there to get ready for the UCRL broadcast again from Suzuka. It's going to be wild. There's no other way to put it. It's going to be wild and it's going to be fun over there, but this thing has been a bit wild here as well, and I mean, yeah, like Spray M88 says, that one car is certainly dialed in here tonight and doing very well. Does not want to relinquish the lead here at all. He's been leading for quite some time. He's had the guys that are right behind him this entire race here so far. I mean, Craig Jancic, Jack Stoneman have had their battles left and right. I mean, this thing has gone about 17 rounds so far now between Stoneman and Jancic here on the restarts. Seems like every restart Stoneman's able to get around the 97, and then as the laps go through there, 2-3 laps later, then Jancic is able to get by again, and then we have a caution, and they go right back to doing the same thing again. Meanwhile, Daniel Wiles sitting right there in 4th place has just had an eye on this thing the entire time. Sitting back there just inside the top 5, but he's been there pretty much the entire night. Now the highest up that we see John Nobinger up 14 spots into 5th place. So we'll see if that 44 has anything, if that Hornet's got a little sting in it yet. Try and move his way up there. This caution certainly helped out the 72. Caleb Collins gets himself back onto the lead lap, so it'll give us 17 drivers on the lead lap. Matt Crockett 1 lap down. Tyler Bramble is 2 laps down. It looks like David Tolford still maybe getting some repairs done. We'll see if he gets back out there, but currently in the pits 7 laps down. But out front, it's going to be tough to beat that one right now, and I think Jancik's got to figure out a way to get these restarts. He's been really struggling on these restarts, and it's one thing to lose a bit of ground to that one, but it seems like he's always got to have a battle with Stoneman, whether he's alongside him and he can, kind of hold him off there a little bit, or he's got to straight up pass him back again. It seems like he's got the speed to maybe give a little challenge to Nico Garcia, but he's got to take so much time just to get back up there, and it's got to be taking a toll on those tires. See Alan Owood checking in with us here tonight, watching during the intermission of the hockey game at least, and certainly I'm sure a lot of these drivers don't mind him taking a little break here and giving them a little bit of a chance to get out here and not have to worry about the number 5. Luis Ardonia obviously did not want to wreck out here tonight, and he hasn't wrecked out quite yet, but involved in a huge pileup early on, and really doing a good job of fighting back here, just outside the top 10 right now, sitting in 11th place. So he's got that car all cleaned up, and it really looks nice. It's really good Pennzoil looking paint scheme out there, and I think what really makes it pop is those chrome rims. I mean, it's a lot of times you see these drivers paint the rims a certain color, but sometimes just a good old chrome rim really makes it pop out there, and I like it. I like what he's putting down out there. Obviously, Barry, shout out there. Always tune in here, and look like he's not sure exactly who he's pulling for here. I see Colin Jancic. I'm not sure who Colin Jancic is. We got Craig Jancic there in 2nd place, and doing a heck of a job here so far. But yeah, Dave Tilford, not a good night for him. But we still got plenty of race here left to go, as we're gonna have, looks like, do some quick math here, 18 laps to go once this thing gets back on the green. So we are under 20, but still far from the end on this one. Take it back up to the front, and Nico Garcia is electing for the inside again. Maybe he's finally kind of settled in and chosen that inside line as his preferred line, and he's going to jump back on the gas once again. And this time Jansen gets a little bit better of a restart, but still not enough. He's still got a battle on his hands with Stoneman, who's going to send it in to turn number 1 on the inside, and once again clear the 97. Jansen just cannot get a restart here tonight. Joe Thomas crashed towards the back of this thing. He keeps it going. We'll stay green. But once again, here comes Jansen trying to regain 2nd place. Looking left and right. Caleb Collins off the track on the front stretch. But we will stay green. Nico Garcia into the lead. Jansen now drives around the outside of Stoneman. Takes back 2nd place. Now looks to the inside of Garcia, but far back. Garcia comes on the track, a little bit of a bobble there from the 1, but he will keep it straight enough, and really close in the back there between Reiner and Nobinger, but Reiner is on the move. He is back up to 8th place right now. The show is staying, so is Shane Therian, and now the leaders get into it. The 97 hard impact, the 44 caught up into it, and we've got a big melee. But the big story right there, the 1 and the 97 caught up in the wreck. 1st and 2nd pretty much all night. And this thing just got turned on its head. Off the corner, the one comes up thinking that he is clear, comes across the nose of the 97. And the one by himself is spinning up there towards the top. But, man, once the 97 hits the inside wall, it shoots him straight up in the danger zone. The 44, no place to go. Hard impact. And then, once again, Kelly Pointer, nowhere to go. It's like A.J. Roderick gets into it. Kelly Pointer maybe gotten away a little bit on that one. But A.J. Roderick getting involved there pretty bad as well. And this thing just got interesting. I mean, certainly there's going to be a fast repair for the 97 and for the one. The 97 had to tow back to pit lane, though, so he towed as quick as he could, but he is not going to be on the lead lap currently. 2 laps down, as is John Dominger. He had to tow back to pit lane. So, I mean, 2 of the guys inside the top 5 had to tow. They are not necessarily out of the race just yet, but they are going to be multiple laps down here and getting very late into this race. Looks like the one of Nico Garcia was able to get back to pit lane, take his fast repair and come back out there, but he's going to be outside the top 10 for the first time all night. And now, Jack Stoneman, who's been getting some great restarts behind the one of Nico Garcia, gets to control this one from the front. He is now your leader. Daniel Wiles in second, looking to go back-to-back after that thrilling finish at Talladega, where he was able to just get through and get the win at the end. Shane Therian, involved in the incident earlier with Bryce Reiner, went towards the back of the pack, has fought his way all the way up. Now he finds himself in 3rd place. Josh Van Westen has been doing a fantastic job in exactly what he needs to do. Try and get up here and get in the mix for that top 5, as he's been inside the top 5 here all night tonight, the way it seems. Kenny Hines, again, doing a great job here in his debut inside the top 5 right now. Bryce Reiner has fought his way all the way back to 6th place right now. Joe Sullivan has some near-death experiences here with some of these cautions here tonight, just sneaking through this last one. Finds himself in 7th. Dan Phelps, certainly the better of the Pointer Motor Supplies entries here tonight in regards to luck, for sure. Can't say too much about Kelly Pointer here tonight. It seems like he's had so many cars sideways or wrecked directly in front of him when he's got nowhere to go. It looked like he took too much damage on this last one, but it just hasn't been a fun night, I'm sure, for that 75 crew. But the 85 doing a little bit better. The only bronze driver inside the top 10 right now. Caleb Collins, we've seen him involved in multiple situations here tonight, but somehow he's found a way back here. He is back inside the top 10 in 9th place. And it looks like Nico Garcia, after the incident there, is still going to restart in 10th, but does he have enough time to get back up there? Does he have the tires? Does he have the will? Does he have everything, including Lady Luck, on his side to try and get his way back up there? It's going to be a very interesting last roughly 10, 12 laps left in this thing. Is the pace car light's still on, should be going off this time, but man, we've had a bit of an interesting yellow flag this past time with both leaders getting taken out and taking out some big names. And it looks like Jancic still in the pit lane. Or, yeah, I was going to say, I thought he came back in the pit lane. No, he is still in the pit lane, so he is going to be down a lot more than 2 laps and may just be calling it a night at this point. So we're going to double them back up. Jack Stoneman, Daniel Wiles, Shane Therian, Josh Van Westen, Kenny Hines, your top 5. Reiner, Sullivan, Phelps, Caleb Collins, and Nico Garcia going to be your top 10. But this thing is certainly up for grabs, and it's far from over, as we're going to get the restart, get the green flag here. It's going to be 11 laps to go. Certainly Barry out there, I agree. I think Jansing may be done for the night. Not that one yet. He certainly has some speed, and we'll see what he can do from right there and the back half of his top 10. But he's got a lot of very fast cars that he's got to try and work through, and some that have worked their way from the back to the front already. And that being the 9 of Therian and the 90 of Bryce Reiner. But pace car lights are out, and he is in pit lane. It's the first time tonight going to be in the hands of Jack Stoneman for the restart as he blinks out, but now back on the loud pedal, and we are racing again here at Charlotte. Great restart from the 49. Looks like Wiles is going to be able to hold off for now. It just gets down in front of Shane Therian to hold him off for second place. Reiner on that high line trying to get a good run right behind Van West, and that's going to be 4th and 5th coming down the backstretch. Hines on the inside there in 6th. Hines doing everything he can to try and stay inside, but he's going to fall back right behind the 90 of Reiner, heading into 1 and 2. And you see a bit of a hornet's nest back here as the 1 trying to work his way back through here already has picked off a couple positions. Getting around Caleb Collins now on the outside, trying to work around Joe Sullivan on the outside, but Caleb Collins fighting back here. It took him a while to get back into the top 10. He doesn't want to relinquish any spots, but how about the run now? Almost 3 wide, but Nico Garcia going to get to the outside. Move that 1 back up into 7th if he can complete this pass. Coming through turn number 2. And indeed going to get a great run off the corner. It looks like Collins going to join him on the outside and try and make a pass on Sullivan as well. But at the front, it is Stoneman leading the way, and I'm weary clicking on him because he blinks out from time to time, but he is leading, and we are clicking off the laps. 8 laps to go right now. It is Stoneman, Wiles, Therian, Van Westen, and Reiner in the top 5. Man, I mean, no Elwood here tonight. Nico Garcia having the issues that he had. Craig Jancic having some issues. So 4th, 5th, and 6th in points are right here in the top 5 and really trying to make it interesting to finish this thing off. And now it is 7 laps to go as Therian trying to work that high side, trying to work a different line to get up here and make a run on these boys at the front. But it is a 6-car breakaway before you have the drivers from 7th on back still doing some battle, and looks like Caleb Collins was able to get back around Nico Garcia. He's got some fresher tires on that 72, and now he is trying to hunt down this front 6 and trying to get up here in the mix, maybe get the top 5 yet before it's over, as now Reiner loses 5th place as Kenny Hines goes to the inside, but now he's going to battle back side by side down the backstretch. And Reiner going to retake that position, but you see Collins has already broken free of Nico Garcia and is starting to reel in this front 6. Like Reiner might have bounced off the wall there. It's going to give another opportunity to Hines to go the inside, but this top 4 still remains the same. Stoneman, Wiles, Therian, Van Westen here at the front, and bit of a wobble there. Not sure if the 90 got into the 9 at all. They'll be side by side heading off and turn number 3. Line slides up a bit of a slide job there on the 90, but the 90 is going to do the crossover move, get to the inside, and certainly Caleb Collins watching from behind. He's been on his fair share of dirt track racing, and I'm sure he's liking some of these moves in front of him as long as they don't wreck each other, but it's allowing him to reel them in and get up here in this mix as he's back in 7th place right now. But up front, again, it is still Stoneman, Wiles, and Therian. This time by, it is now 3 laps to go here at Charlotte, so we are getting down to the very end, and it's about time to crown a winner here tonight. Will it be the first win on the season for the 49 of Stoneman, Will it be back-to-back wins for Daniel Wiles after never having a CORE victory until last week? Now all of a sudden looking to go back-to-back in second place right now. Shane Therian looking for his first win on the season. Josh Van Weston, Bryce Reiner, both looking to do the same. Caleb Collins has already worked his way past the 9 of Hines. He's got the 44 of Nominger, who is a lap car in here, but maybe he can use him for a bit of a draft to catch back up to Reiner and try and battle and maybe get himself a top 5 before this thing is over. Side by side back there, as now Sullivan goes the inside on Nico Garcia, and run for Garcia maybe halting here as he's restarted in 10th, got back to 7th, but has gone backwards now since. White flag is in the air. The 49 of Jack Stoneman has been up towards the front, had a great battle all race long with Craig Jancic, all while behind Nico Garcia, but they take each other out. They give the 49 the lead, and he does not relinquish it. The 49 of Jack Stoneman coming by and is going to claim his first ever victory here in the CORE Xfinity Series. Daniel Wiles comes up one spot short of going back-to-back in second place. Shane Therian, a great job coming home in third. Josh Van Weston, Bryce Reiner, great runs by them as well, coming home in your top 5. Caleb Collins just coming up one spot short of the top 5 in 6th. Kenny Hines, Nico Garcia, Joe Sullivan, and Diego Remy going to round out your top 10 here tonight. As we'll take a look at the full finishing order here. Looking at the rest of the field, AJ Roderick, a good bounce back there after getting involved in the incident. To finish in 11th, Kelly Pointer, Dan Phelps, excuse me, Matt Crockett, Luis Ordona coming home in your top 15. Then the rest of the field are going to be Jeremy Gainey, Tyler Bramble, John Nominger, Dave Tilford, Joe Thomas, Craig Jancic, and Tony Ramble. But the man of the hour, burning it down right here, and certainly well deserved. As we said, how many times Stoneman has been very close a few times here, but finally it gets it done, and I'm sure he's going to be sleeping well tonight if he sleeps at all to finally get this first win here, and should be. I'm surprised he's not locked into to a division already. It might have just been an oversight on our part here, but he's been doing pretty well, and I would think at the minimum probably a silver division for Stoneman, if not a gold division. But the win here tonight is certainly going to help no matter what the case is, and well deserved here for the 49. So congrats to him, and congrats to everybody on the podium, being Daniel Wiles and Shane Therian. Therian certainly had his ups and downs here that he had to overcome here tonight, but he does, and he gets a third. And man, and this points battle is going to get even tighter heading into next week at Vegas. And I mean, you couldn't get 2 more different tracks for these last 2 races of the regular season. Vegas, you got to lay it all on the line, and there's going to be some gambling for sure to try and get some points and really get a good finish next week, because then Martinsville looms on the horizon to finish out the regular season. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. I got to head myself over to join Jimmy in Japan and join those boys over at UC Rao for the Fire Breathers Throwback Cup Series. But for this one, we are all wrapped up. Congrats again to Jack Stoneman on the win. For myself and Jimmy Covert, we'll see you at the track.